Welcome, everybody, to this edition of Turnaround Marriage Live. We are Scott and Rachel coming at you live this Sunday afternoon. And we wanted to talk about a subject that Scott has started this little journey about marriage mind traps. And this is going to be number 2. We're going to be talking about spiritual deception. And there's many of you out there today, guys. You're honorable people. You love the Lord. Your marriage is in trouble. You guys have had disconnection or negativity for a long time, maybe a lot of conflict, and you've been praying and praying and praying, and you've been crying out to God, and you're like, why won't God answer my prayers? We're talking to you today. Okay, so we've got some good stuff for you. So if that's you, listen up.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, I want to make sure that you're seeing all of our content. If you are on Facebook, if you search Turnaround Marriage, you want to make sure that you are, first of all, liking our coaching page as well. We have a small group, about 1,600 people, also called Turnaround Marriage, that you want to be part of. That way you're getting all the information, all the updates, and as well part of our community. We want to make sure if you're finding us on YouTube that you like and subscribe. We'd appreciate if you'd even share some of our content. And if you like and subscribe, obviously you're going to be getting that fresh content notifications as things come up. So guys, we are really excited to dive in with a subject that we see all the time, especially with couples that we've worked with and conversations that we've had with hundreds and hundreds of couples. And this is going to be one of those ones that is going to come at you from left field for a lot of you. Mm-hmm. So this is for those that are, like Rachel said, are honorable people. They love God. They don't understand why things have not been going right in their marriage. And they feel like, they really feel like they're in the right place. Like they've really been praying for their spouse and really been praying for their marriage to change. And and for men, it really looks like they feel like they've been faithful to God. They feel like they are doing what's right. They've tried to connect with their spouse, but they recognize it just isn't working. And they begin to, they begin to kind of push their wife aside. They begin to kind of move on, not in the sense they're looking for other women, but they've kind of moved on with like this is just like the cross I have to bear. This is the woman I have to deal with. And yeah, we have had some good times here and there. And yeah, she'll sleep with me sometimes. And yeah, we have some great kids. But essentially in their hearts, they've begun to push their wives away. Mm. And they begin to say things like, well, she's just, difficult woman to be with. And, oh, she's just like her mom. And that's just who she is. And really there's this divide that begins to happen between him and in her heart. And we see this so often. And, the Bible does talk about this, Malachi 2, it talks about, it says you cover the Lord's altars with tears, with weeping and groaning, because he no longer regards the offering or accepts it with favor in your hand. Like the Lord, there's distance between you and God. And you say, it says in verse 14, why does he not? Because the Lord was witness between you and the wife of your youth, to whom you have been faithless, though she is your companion and your wife by covenant. In other words, by vow. In other words, it's saying you have moved. The problem that you have spiritually is that you've essentially left your wife, the wife of your youth, the wife that you committed to God that you were going to love and support in sickness and in health. And in your heart, you've moved on. And there is a disconnect that has grown between not just you and your wife, but between you and God. And I want to tell you, guys, there are so many of you that are deceived out there. They think they're faithful to God because they're praying. They think that they're in a good place because they have told others about it, or they've gone to a few counseling appointments. But the reality is they've left their wives behind. And therefore, according to the word, they're not being faithful to God. And that's a big pill to swallow for a lot of people that are out there. But we see it all the time, don't we?
We sure do, Scott. We sure do. In fact, we were there for many years. And for women, it looks a little bit differently. For women, I don't know how many of you women out there have a journal like this. I have stacks of these, where if you were to read my journal from years and years of me just crying out to God in my journal, complaining about my husband to him, just saying, God, why is he this way? And I feel this way. And he just makes me feel this way. And why does it have to be so hard? And my heart's wandering, God. And what do I do? And I'm crying out and I'm crying out and I'm crying out to God. so that I can be that honorable one and I can think that I'm doing the right thing. But in my heart of hearts, I have not looked inward at my own sin and my own stuff and my own behavior and the way I've been prickly and pushing him away, the way I've been dishonoring him, the way I've been disconnected, the way my eyes have been wandering, my heart's been wandering. And guys, I'm here to tell you, if you have a journal full of prayers complaining about your spouse, okay, and how you've just been crying out and crying out.
How many do you have, by the way?
I don't want you to know. But that's just the reality. Is we were in a dark place, and the problem was Scott and I, our communication, we could not really even be honest about how we felt because we knew it was going to end up in a fight. So instead of like trying to argue with him about it, I would just go to God. And I thought I was doing the honorable godly thing and just really bringing my husband before the throne room. But hardly ever did I say, God, change me. God, search me and know me. If there's any wayward way in me, create in me a clean heart. I was not praying that prayer. I was praying the prayer of, oh God, I feel this way and I'm so alone. And why does it have to be this way? And basically what I was doing is just complaining to God about the good gift that he gave me. I don't like that gift you gave me, God. Why does he have to be so selfish and lazy and mean and not connecting with me? And why can't he be like that guy over there? And I was coveting other people's husbands. And I'm telling you, some of you ladies are out there and you can relate to me because you know that I'm speaking directly to you. And guys, we can feel so vindicated. We can feel so righteous. Oh, I've just been praying about this. I've been praying about this. We can, do that journaling and even request prayer from our Bible study friends. Oh, please, you really need to pray for my husband. He's really in a dark place. And it's like, guys, you know who you are. And then you know how the little gossip train goes. I'm here to tell you that's not how we do. That's not how we do it in community. And that's not how we fix our marriage. We don't do it that way. Don't be
in the church
deceived.
A lot that way, though.
Yeah.
It really does. You're so right.
Yeah. If you're dishonoring your husband, if you're not submitting to him out of reverence for Christ in a way that's gentle, in a way that's kind and godly, in a way that's loving and honorable, even if you have been hurt, I'm telling you, those prayers are going to feel like they're hitting the ceiling.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's true. This is the nature of it, that oftentimes we talk to a lot of couples. There's two people that can think that they're righteous and they've actually been spiritually deceived. And yes, you can blame Satan to some degree. He is the father of lies, but who has believed the lies? And the reality is you are guilty and you've only been pointing the fingers. And what can happen is, because our God is a loving father, because he's a loving father, he will bring discipline to us in a loving way. He will let us get the consequences of our own sin. Like he will, because he loves us. And what can happen is, we see it all the time. One person, and there are a couple that, they're not getting along, but one person can feel the consequences and think, I've been praying, I've been journaling, I've been asking for prayer, feeling the consequences of the sin and blaming the other person for their own sin. This is what happens. And the reality is, guys, the truth is this: when you are married and God has brought you together, you are one flesh. In other words, when you are one flesh, your spiritual health is connected to your spouse's. You cannot separate the two. And if you are, even if you are only, 2% at fault in your marriage, you've got to own that 2% like a boss, 100%, and give that to God. Unless you are, it's absolutely going to be a place where people are deceived, and we see it all of the time.
Yeah. So what do we do? What if we're in that place? If we have our stacks of journals, and then we've had our prayer requests, and we've asked God for help, and we've asked him, and we've asked him, and we've asked him. Guys, I'm here to implore you that when God brings along the solutions, you've got to have your antenna up and you've got to be looking for them.
Right.
I cannot tell you how many times we've gotten on the phone with people, because we do offer a complimentary breakthrough call. We've gotten on a phone call with people. We've helped them uncover what's not been working. We help them see the consequences of what's going to happen if they don't fix this. We help them begin to dream about what their marriage could be. And then we decide we could offer them a path out of that. And then you know what they say? Well, I just need to pray about it. I just need to pray about it and ask God. And when God is literally leading
Yeah.
you, there's a reason you saw our ad. There's a reason you saw this live. There's a reason that there's people putting in right in front of you to offer you the help.
Yeah. The Red Sea is parted. Do you need to pray about going through it?
Right.
There's hope now, absolutely.
This is how God guides us one step at a time. He shows us, he unfolds his plan. And
Yeah.
it takes a humility to say, I need some help. I cannot do this. We can't figure this out. And there's too much damage being done at home. There's too much that's happened. And we can't keep going like
Right.
this.
Right.
I'm here to also implore you, please do not wait until it's irreparable. Please do not wait until it's too late, because there is a breaking point. There is that tipping point.
Mm.
And if you're at that tipping point, you've got to reach out right away, right away.
It's so true. And for everybody that's out there today, I would ask you, men, are you being tender to the wife of your youth? Are you being tender to the weaker vessel? It's not that women are weak, but when the scriptures were talking about that, it simply meant that the women's desire would be for her husband. Have we forgotten that? Have we forgotten her? Have we left her by the wayside? Guys, are you seeking to honor, or ladies, I should say, are you seeking to honor your husband and to build him up as the head? I mean, that's how the way God designed it. Unless you're building him up, it's going to have every effect on him and you. And are you guys honoring Christ together in your marriage? Are you living out your marriage as though you're gospel partners? Because you are. If you're one flesh in Christ, marriage is the place where it has to be the place where you are extending the same grace of the gospel of Jesus that you've experienced. It has to be, and it is. And that's exactly what God designed marriage to be. Mm-hmm. Marriage is that place where we forgive as we have been forgiven. And if that is not the place, then you're holding on to some stuff there. You are probably spiritually deceived, because you're pointing the other finger when you need to be owning that you're not living out the gospel as a gospel partner before the Lord with your spouse. That's the cold, hard truth. For any of the Christian couples that are hearing us today, even if there's just one out there that's hearing this, this is exactly the heart of the matter. This is exactly the big problem. If you are believing that you're okay and your spouse is the problem, you are spiritually deceived. Absolutely.
Yeah. So guys, if that's you, we want to encourage you, go ahead and book that complimentary breakthrough call. Let us help you and get on the phone and really help you get to the bottom of what's not working and help you create a strategy so you'll know that powerful next step you can take to get that God-honoring marriage that you both want. It doesn't matter if there's both of you or if there's just one of you that's willing to work on the marriage. God can work through whoever is willing. That is the good news of the gospel. Yeah. The other good news is that he doesn't waste it. He doesn't waste our pain and our heartache and the things that we've been through. And so he, as a redemptive God, can turn it around for good. And that is one of the reasons why we named this Turnaround Marriage, because it's a beautiful picture of how God can turn around any situation and bring good and glory for his name out of it. So if that's you, we want you to go to turnaroundmarriage.com/call. Go ahead and pick that very best spot that you can attend. Fill out that short questionnaire so we can best serve you on that call. Set a reminder in your calendar and block that time off and be open and prepared and ready to see God answer your prayer. So that's going to turnaroundmarriage.com/call.
Yeah. And it's so good, Rachel. And one of the things that's most beautiful about that complimentary call is that we can help get to the heart of the matter and take away the blinders and help you to see any areas. I mean, it's not exhaustive. Obviously, we spend just 45 minutes or a little bit more than that sometimes on the phone, but we get to the heart of where you may have been deceived as an individual. And when you can see the truth will set you free. There's no question. So we wish you guys the best. And if you've realized that today you need that support, make sure you reach out. Until next time, we'll talk soon.
Bye, guys.